Hey, here I am, and welcome back. How are you lovely lot doing? I hope you're all doing well. This weekend I have hot-footed it over to Rome. I have packed my sketchbook, my pens, my watercolors. I'm just going to be here for a couple of days, and I'm going to sketch as much as I can between plates of pasta and pizza. Maybe an Aperol here and there, who knows? I'm just going to follow my nose and see what I find, but my first thing that I wanted to sketch is the Roman baths, which I believe are the other side of this wall, I think. So let's go and see. So I was wrong, it isn't actually quite just the other side of that wall, it's actually... Let's try that again. So I was wrong, it wasn't quite the other side of that wall, it's actually over there. Look at that, how cute is that? Just in the middle of nowhere. I don't know what it is, but I like it. From across the road over there, I thought this was the entrance, but it's got like wire across it, so I don't know. What does it say here? Terme de Caracalla. Terme. Thermal? Thermal baths. Terme de Caracalla. That was my Italian. Oh, hey, we got it in English. This site is an artistic treasure belonging to Rome and the whole world. It's nice. Please help us keep it clean. Transgressors will be severely punished. Oh, and then somebody has written on here, look, 200 meters to the ticket office. I don't want to be trespassing and getting punished now, do I? This looks more like it. These Roman walls are mainly a mixture of random bricks and concrete, and then they've got the uniform bricks on the outside encasing it. You can see here in the middle that the inside part is mainly just concrete, but then the outside is the part where they've put nicer bricks. And if it wasn't for the Roman concrete, most of this city wouldn't be standing today. And it's aesthetic. I love it. The entrance fee to the baths was €8, but if you are a resident of Italy, I believe it's free. In front of me in the queue, there were two German girls who were arguing that they should be able to get in with their German residency card, but the man at the ticket office didn't let that happen. They were arguing that on the website it says that they can, so I don't know who was right and who was wrong, but if you're planning on coming here, just bear that in mind. It's €8, and it's really nice in here, so I think it's worth it. Here I am doing a warm-up sketch using a brown fine liner. This is, I think it's called a column scroll. This little boy kept coming and talking to me. He didn't speak any English, but he seemed really interested in what I was doing. It was cute. There you go, just a quick sketch. Here's just another quick warm-up sketch of this mosaic of a bull on this fragment of, I don't know, maybe wall or flooring. I had the camera set up on the wrong side, so I actually missed recording most of it. But you get the idea. This place is huge. It's massive. Imagine how many people could come in here and bathe. It would be just a massive human soup. We're going to use my new pen. So it's got a bent nib. You can see the nib bends upwards, so I can get a fine line if I use it this way and a thick line if I use it this way. I'm going to try and keep this as loose as possible. But I want to get this tower and this tower in it. I'm just going to go straight in and not be scared. Using my pen to help me find the angle. Like this. Then trying to translate that down. Marking on my pen the distance, and then I can use that to measure down. So for example, that is about the distance of the top. This angle is about 2/3. So what have we got here? 1 takes me up to about this thing, so it's about 2. So this length is twice this length. So 1, 2, it's about here. Really doesn't have to be exact. I'm going to use my pen to give the thicker lines. We've got some variation, which is nice. I like that. I really like the variation of lines it gives. It really helps to have this kind of loose feel to it. It's all kind of rugged bricks. It's been exposed. I'm just making squiggles, really. It's going to read as detail in the end. Notice how the perspective changes as it comes more down level with us. Like this is quite severe, and then the further down you come, the more kind of flat it becomes. This one here, this building is coming out at the bottom of this part. Oops, oh, I've gone too high. It should be at the bottom of that. Should be at the bottom of that window, really. And you can see the bottom of the window is where it finishes, but it's okay. Top finishes along the line of these windows here. And this one is kind of almost horizontal. It's not got these angles. And it's about the same width as this one. Remember to try and draw what you see, not what you think you see. So I keep looking back up at the reference. I'm looking more at the reference than I am at the paper. And the more you look, the more you see. Now I've noticed there's an archway here. Brown, that'll do. Put this golden yellow in there. Okay, I'm going to use that as my main wash first for all of this building. These watercolors that I'm using are Timone Arts. They're all handmade, and I got these as a mystery box on Etsy. And they have this nice graininess to them, which is really nice for buildings. Actually, I think I really like that, just as it is like that, but I'm going to add a little bit more just because I want to use these colours. I would really like to use these bright colours, but maybe I'm going to do that on the next place I go. Let's see, should I leave it like that? I forgot to bring a piece of paper with me to wipe this off, but if you just give it a good squeeze and wipe it on your hand. If you don't mind having painty hands like me, I don't mind. That frame I've drawn there isn't straight, but I don't care. It's fine. That was really enjoyable in there. Had a really good time. It was €8 to get in, which I think was totally worth it. So first place was a success.
Oh no.
Oh no, look at that. My water bottle's leaking in my bag. I'll carry it under my arm. Just going to have to have a wet leg. So moving on to the next place now. I'm going to try and see the Colosseum and the Trevi Fountain all in one day. Let's go. I found myself a little sitting spot just here in front of the Colosseum, but I thought before I do that I'm going to show you what I brought with me for this little sketching tour. In my pencil case I have a spray bottle for activating the paints. I have a variety of waterproof ink fine liners, so I have two black ones, a 0.1 and a 0.5, and then a 0.5 in both brown and grey, and these are Unipen fine lines. Also in here I have a jelly roll pen, if I needed to add some white highlights, a putty rubber, mechanical pencil. I have two different fountain pens with different nibs, but they both have the same waterproof ink. I have three different size water brushes, so the water is in the handle. I have a Stabilo 88, or a Stabilo 88, I don't really know how you pronounce it. I say Stabilo because I'm northern. This one is not waterproof, so I can use that for mixing and blending if I didn't have any colours. So that's what lives in my little pencil case. And then apart from that, I have my usual watercolor set, which has, how many, 20 colors in there. I have my Timone Art homemade watercolor set. I got these as a mystery box from Etsy. This is an old pen tin, and I've sprayed the lid with enamel paint, and I use that as a little palette, which I think is really cute. It's quite handy, you can slip in your pocket. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different Tombow pens. These are water soluble, so you can use them for adding shade or definition. And I have two Hahnemuller sketchbooks. I have this one, which is a A6 size, and then this cute little adorable one, which I haven't used yet, but I want to try and use that while I'm here. Okay, so that's what I'm packing. So let's sketch this view. So this is the angle that I'm going to sketch. So this is going to come about a third away across the sketch. And then on this side, I'm going to use these trees, and I really like this orange building, so I'm going to incorporate that. I'm going to use some artistic license and make the trees more of a focal point. I might bring them up to about this height, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to loosely split my page into thirds. Not exact thirds, but that's all right. So this is going to be the edge of the Colosseum. Here I'm just doing a rough outline, just getting an idea of how I want my composition to be. And you'll notice that I'm just doing the basic shapes, and I'm not going into any detail. It's just to give me something to go off when I go in with my watercolors and ink. In this sketch, I'm trying something a little bit different. I'm trying to use the colors that I haven't used before. So I'm using this bubblegum pink, which obviously is not the color of the Colosseum. But I was having problems. They didn't seem to want to go onto the paper. I don't know what was going on. It's like they didn't like being wet. They seemed very wet when I was mixing them there on the palette. And on the paper I had to squeeze my water brush just to get the colour to flow. Don't really know what was going on. It is really quite frustrating. I was wondering if it was because they were homemade, but they seemed fine when I was using them in my last sketch. I don't know if it's the paint's fault, if it's the palette's fault, or if it's my fault. I don't know. Oh no. Okay, that feels dry to the touch. If you use the back of your hand, if it feels cold, then it's probably still wet. Right, I need to try and fix this. I'm going to take a putty rubber to get rid of those. Oh, goodness sake. That is not what you want your putty rubber to do. Right, learn from my mistakes, guys. You need to bring something to lean on, because your legs just are not the one. You're going to have to be on this dirty floor as well, isn't it? I like to use a putty rubber because it's a bit kinder on the paper than a regular rubber. I'm going to use the bent nib pen again. I like how it's going to keep things loose, and I need this to be loose. Using the different thicknesses of the nib to give different textures throughout. Typical. People haven't stopped to look at me sketching for such a long time. And now that I'm making this horrible monstrosity, everyone's having a look. They're probably thinking, what is he doing? And to be quite honest with you, I'm kind of thinking the same. What am I doing? I think I might be able to fix it. Well, if nothing else, it's a memory, isn't it? It's not just about sketching, it's about sitting and being present in the moment for a bit. Trying to keep these about the same size as the ones just above it. And I'm actually trying to ignore where I've put the paint underneath, because it's clearly not in the right place. But that's part of this loose style, even if the colours I've chosen are a bit garish, outlandish.
No, cioè si sta persa?
I mean, proportions are not all right there, but that's all right. Let's change the pen to one that's a bit more precise. I'm just using my Jelly Roll pen to add a couple of little highlights in here. I'm going to use this Tombow N52 to add some shadows. There you go. So there we go, I'm leaving the Colosseum behind. In the end, I didn't hate it. I think it's good to try new things. Anyway, so now there's a 20-minute walk to the Trevi Fountain, I think. If I can find it. There's a lot of walking, I'm going to be tired later. Let's go. Well, Trevi Fountain is not my bag. Far too many people. Definitely not a good spot for sketching anyway. But maybe I should start sketching something a little bit different, because what's the point in sketching things that everybody's already seen in pictures? Look at this queue. This is all a queue to get down in. I'm not going to do it. So I seem to have walked myself around in a full circle, because just over there is the baths that I started at this morning. So There we go. The time is approaching 9:10 in the evening, so I'm probably just going to go and get something to eat now and chill out for a bit. I need to download all of the footage onto my laptop, and then I'm free to start again tomorrow, because Rome will still be here and there'll be plenty more things to sketch. Tomorrow, I think I'm going to try and find some, I don't know, just more out of the way things, not your typical things like the Colosseum, because everybody's seen the Colosseum already. It's been a great day so far though, and I absolutely am in love with Rome.